Hey guys, welcome back. Words. Given the fact that it has been literally 3 years since my last real video, you guys probably don't know about my college process and the fact that I am now in the Boston University class of 24. Unless I know you in real life, you definitely don't know that. But anyway, I was thinking about what to do for my next video, and a lot of my friends were saying that I should do a college advice video. So, I went on Instagram, I put out questions to my friends and asked them for some of their advice that they would give to juniors and sophomores currently looking to start the college application process. I typed out a bunch of stuff on my laptop, including the tips that I gathered from my friends and myself, and I'm gonna bring you guys today my top 5 tips for college applications, and I'm gonna go into detail about each of those. The first question you guys probably have for me is, what are my stats? And what I'm gonna do is I'm reading this right off of BU Today, which is Boston University's publication. I'm gonna read to you their stats and then compare those to mine. So, starting with the acceptance rate. For this year, the class of 24, their acceptance was 18.5% out of 61,000 applications. 50% of people were admitted by early decision, myself included, and I'm going to talk about ED later on. Average GPA was 3.9. Mine was 3.71, flat all 3 years. It was the same thing, freshman, sophomore, junior year. Average SAT 1470, mine was 1500 super score. Middle range for SAT was 1420 to 1540. Their average SAT was 33. I did not take the I actually did not take the ACT, but their middle range for this was 32 to 35. Overall class rank was the top 7%. Now this is kind of skewed for me because my school is very, very competitive. We have a lot of high stats and scores, and we also had many ties within ranks. So for example, 3 people were ranked number 9. And in general, rank is not a super important thing. As far as I have been told, it's usually not a super important factor.
Okay, I'm very mad right now because I just filmed 4 of the tips that I had, and it turns out they didn't even record.
But you know what? Life happens. Okay, so now to get into my top 5 tips. My first one for you, especially if you're a junior about to go into senior year, start your Common App profile over the summer, because this is the easiest stuff that you will do in your entire application process. Either Coalition or Common App. This is the basic stuff about you, your address, email, phone, your family, education, testing, extracurriculars. So I started this over the summer and I found it really easy to just get this stuff over with. It's a good way to get the ball rolling because you don't really have to think about it. Now, that being said, there might be some questions that are a little confusing, which you should definitely ask your counselors for help. What my school does is in the summer, they have rising seniors schedule meetings with their counselors. I just jotted down every box that I had questions about. I brought it to my counselor and I just said, okay, what does this mean? What should I put here? Because some of these terms you might not have ever heard of. I remember there were a lot of confusing ones for me. So your counselors are your best source for that. Also, this is going to ask you about your parents' information, and while you have the time over the summer, while your parents have the time, the summer is going to be the best time to ask them about that information. And then lastly, you can always go back and check for any information you might have missed. After you're done with that, you only need to focus on your writing. All right, second tip, demonstrate interest, especially for schools that you really want to go to. I believe that this is definitely part of what got me into BU because I attended 2 information sessions and 1 tour. Colleges want to see you take that initiative and really show them this is where I want to go. And that, along with early decision, early action, will help you to get in. There's definitely more ways than attending tours to demonstrate your interest. You can always contact people there, ask them any questions you have about the applications and things like that. It doesn't always have to involve physically going to the place. That's kind of all I have to say about that, but you will hear the term demonstrated interest over the next few months because people will stress that it is pretty important. All right, so this tip gets into your clubs and extracurriculars. quality over quantity. This one was really important to me because sometimes you're gonna think that a person needs all these clubs and honor societies and other extracurriculars to get into a good school. That's not necessarily the case. My 3 main extracurriculars were figure skating, color guard, and my part-time job. But the amount of time that they took up and the amount of dedication they required were more important than the number of things I was doing. I mean, I practiced figure skating literally like all year round. Color guard was 6 to 8 hours a day for 2 weeks straight, minus the weekends. My part-time job is always consistent as well. I dropped 2 clubs after my freshman year, and I kind of worried about them because I was like, well, what if I don't have enough on my resume now? But as I got more into the applications, I realized this is good because I have all these things that I can talk about from one thing rather than jumping from this club to that club. They also want to see you taking leadership positions, and obviously you're more likely to want a leadership position if you really enjoy what you're doing. For me, my leadership position was being captain for 2 years of my color guard. And on my figure skating team, I'm like kind of a team captain, but it's not really a formal thing. Either way, what they want to see is that you are dedicated to what you do. Going along with that, don't just do stuff because you think it'll look good. Do stuff that you enjoy. And then again, that's going to make you stand out more because they'll realize how much effort you've put in. It's not always about the big name clubs, if that makes sense. So the next thing is when you're writing your essay, put it down for a day or 2 or even a week. This is the best piece of advice that I have received from a friend in terms of writing. When you write for a long time and you keep going back and rereading the same paragraph, you think too much about it and you're always like, this transition sounds weird and this sentence doesn't sound good. Sometimes you just put your thoughts down, shut your laptop, and come back to it tomorrow. When you open it again with a fresh perspective, you have something to work with and less tendency to just judge it right off the bat. That's more important than having it perfect and polished. Really, it's impossible to write a perfect essay the first time. My Common App essay, I remember, was so bad the first draft. It was jumping all over the place. I didn't really have an idea of my main thought and like the main idea behind my essay. So I just had to write one sentence sometimes and then leave it and come back to it so I had that sentence to work with. You're gonna be like, okay, let's see what I have so far and how I can mold that as opposed to let me see what I can make from scratch. All right, my last and final tip. This one sounds kind of cheesy, but make your writing come from here, especially for your main Common App or Coalition App essay. This is the big essay, the one that colleges are going to really see who you are from. Schools may give you specific prompts, why you want to attend this school or what would you do with the knowledge from the school, but that doesn't really show you as a person. That is your Common App essay. So when you're writing, be genuine, be authentic, be you, no pun intended. Make this show your true character. And it doesn't always have to be that cliche thing that starts like a quote. First off, don't start with a quote. That is something my English teacher told me because it's so generic and cliche. And you want to avoid those cliches because that's not going to make you stand out as much. So don't try and like copy other people's ideas. That's not to say not to draw inspiration from other essays you might read. But at the end of the day, this is about you. So don't try to be like everyone else when you write it. All right, so that is all that I have for my top 5 tips. If you guys want a video of me reading out my Common App essay, I will definitely do it. So comment down below if you want me to read because I'm very proud of my final product. Looking back at it, I kind of don't know how I did it, but I think a lot of it was just that thing where you type something, you leave it alone, you come back to it. Definitely something to do if you're stressed out and don't know what to write. But if you do want that video, comment down below. And also comment if you want more college advice videos or even high school advice videos because I need more to make while I'm stuck in my house. I also have a huge list of other pieces of advice that my friends gave to me to give to you guys. So I should be making some more videos to incorporate those tips as well. There's a lot of good advice that you're going to hear from your counselors, your teachers, and even your friends. So make sure you take those into account. Don't stress out. I was very stressed out, as well as all of my friends, because I think of my school's competitive environment. But a lot of teachers will tell us, like, don't go overboard with like the amount of colleges you apply to and, you know, the amount of work that you give yourself. Just embrace this time because it is very exciting. I'm very excited for you guys. It's an important time in your life. You're a senior and you're, you know, trying to see where you're gonna end up. And it's really exciting to see where everyone's gonna go. So yeah, if you are in the beginning of this process, I wish you the best of luck. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe as well for more videos like this. And I think that's it. Have a great rest of your day and I'll talk to you guys later.